Overview of top 5 companies by valuation. DLF, valued at 2 lakh crores. DLF is the largest real estate company in India by valuation, holding a significant presence in commercial and residential sectors. It dominates the market with high revenue and substantial assets. Macrotech Developers, valued at 1.36 lakh crores. Macrotech Developers, also known as Lodha Group, is a prominent player in the real estate space with extensive projects in the commercial and residential sectors, known for its aggressive growth and expansions. Indian Hotel Company, valued at 79,150 crores. This company is part of Tata Group. It is a leading name in hospitality sector with its chain of luxury hotels, including Taj and Vivanta. Godrej Properties, valued at 77,000 crores, known for its residential and commercial projects. Godrej Properties has a wide reach but faces some operational and efficiency challenges compared to its peers. Oberoi Realty, valued at 66,000 crores, is focused on high-end commercial and retail projects, known for its premium offerings and efficient operations. Now, looking at their financials, Oberoi Realty and Indian Hotel Company stand out with high return on invested capital. DLF and Macrotech Developers show moderate capital efficiency, whereas Godrej Properties has the lowest ROIC, reflecting challenges in utilizing its capital efficiency. Indian Hotel Company has the highest return on equity, followed by Oberoi Realty, which also shows solid shareholder returns with a strong return on equity. DLF and Macrotech Developers have lower ROE, suggesting that these companies, while profitable, are less effective in generating returns. And Godrej Properties again reflects lower profitability with a low return on equity. Looking at the sales growth, Macrotech Developers leads the pack. Oberoi Realty and Indian Hotels Company exhibit healthy sales growth. DLF shows moderate growth. Godrej Properties has the lowest sales growth. Now, looking at profit after tax, DLF leads it, followed by Oberoi Realty. And Indian Hotel Company and Macrotech have average profit after tax. Godrej again lag in this sector as well. Now, coming to their overall performance, we can say Oberoi Realty and Indian Hotels Company emerge as the strongest performers with high return on invested capital and return on equity, indicating that they are both highly efficient and profitable. Their ability to generate significant returns on capital and equity, coupled with healthy sales growth, positions them as leaders in the market. Macrotech Developers shows impressive growth in terms of sales, but moderate capital efficiency. This suggests that while the company is expanding rapidly, it needs to focus on improving operational efficiency to convert this growth into higher profitability. DLF is highly profitable in terms of profit after tax, but less efficient compared to peers. Its lower return on invested capital and ROE suggests that the company may have significant costs or inefficiencies that need to be addressed despite its market dominance. Godrej Properties faces challenges across the board with lowest return on invested capital and return on equity, and also sales growth among its peers. This indicates issues with both growth and efficiency, suggesting that the company needs to reevaluate its strategies to improve profitability and operational effectiveness.
Financial analysis of the top commercial real estate companies in the US. We dive into the key metrics and performance of these leading firms. The company at the top is CBRE with a valuation of $8.39 billion. Second one being Cushman & Wakefield with a valuation of $9.49 billion. Moving on to the third company is Colliers, which is valued at $1.13 billion. Moving on to Newmark, which is valued at $2.90 billion. And finally, Marcus & Millichap with a valuation of $6.5 million. CBRE's return on investment is 7.88% with an ROE of 6.95%. The company has an impressive sales growth at 12.2% with a profit share after tax of 2842 crores. CBRE continues to be a major player, though its ROI and ROE suggests there is room for improvement in efficiency and profitability. Moving on to Cushman & Wakefield, the firm shines with a higher ROI of 13.5% and a robust ROE of 14.3%. Their sales growth of 14% and a profit after tax of 1285 crore highlights strong operational performance and an effective capital management. Cushman & Wakefield leads in probability and growth metrics among its peers. Moving on to Colliers, it boasts the highest ROI at 15.6% and a commendable ROE of 13.5%. Their sales growth is the strongest at 19.1%, paired with a profit after tax of 2189 crores. Colliers stands out for its exceptional return on capital and a dynamic growth, positioning itself as a high-efficiency company. Newmark shows a solid ROI of 9.06% and an ROE of 10.7%. The company's impressive sales growth of 37.2% is remarkable, with a profit after tax of 1927 crores. Newmark's rapid growth rates underscore its aggressive expansion strategy and strong market positioning. And finally, we have Marcus and Millichap, whose ROI is lowest at 4.65%, and their ROE is 6.79%. Despite a moderate sales and growth of 3.57% and a profit after tax of 1119 crores, Marcus and Millichap faces challenges in capital efficiency and profitability compared to its largest content parts. In summary, while each company excels in different areas, Cushman and Wakefield and Colliers lead in profitability and growth metrics. CBRE and Newmark also shows strong performances, so there is a notable variance in capital efficiency and return metrics. Marcus and Millichap, despite its challenges, remains a significant player in the industry.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gaurav Laddha, and today I will walk you through the supply chain of commercial real estate industry in India. It is a complex process involving multiple stages and stakeholders and resources to bring a commercial property from concept to completion. So let's start with the first stage, that is the land acquisition and development. Now, this step involves sourcing suitable land, which can be a major challenge due to high costs, especially in urban areas where the developers usually acquire the land from private owners or government auctions. Now, depending on the region, the land must be zoned appropriately, and developers must obtain various approvals, including environmental clearances, which can take considerable time. Now, moving on to the next step, that is the designing and the planning phase. Here, architects and engineers and urban planners come into play. Now, this phase includes designing the layout, complying with the safety and environmental and sustainability. Now, in India, there have been a growing focus on green buildings, which not only conserve resources but also attract eco-conscious investors. Now, next step is the construction, and it is a critical part of the supply chain where the bulk of the project costs are incurred. At this stage, developers collaborate with the contractors, material suppliers, and a large workforce. Now, major expenses include raw material, steel, cement, and the glass, and also the labor costs is one of the major fluctuating costs that we can say. For example, the average construction cost in Indian metro cities ranges from 2,500 to 4,000 INR per square foot. Okay, so construction is usually carried out in phases, that is foundation, superstructure, and finally the interior finishing. Now, each phase is meticulously monitored to ensure compliance with timelines and quality standards. Now, once construction is complete, the project moves into the fourth step, that is sales and leasing. At this point, real estate firms begin marketing the property to potential buyers and tenants. Now, in India, the commercial real estate has seen high demand, particularly due to IT companies and co-working spaces. Now, IT and ITES sector accounted for 50% of total leasing activities, underlying its dominance in the market. Now, developers also need to decide whether to lease the property, which generate a steady cash flow, or to sell it out straight for upfront large return. Now, the next link in the chain is the property management. Once the space is occupied, managing and property becomes crucial. This includes tenant relations and ensuring operational efficiencies. Now, high quality management can significantly impact tenant satisfaction. By extension, property value. Property managers must coordinate repairs, security, and even energy management. Now, this is where technology is increasingly playing a role with smart building systems, improving efficiencies and reducing operational cost. Finally, the last step in the supply chain is the end user or the investor that plays an essential role in closing the loop of the supply chain, because corporates and the retail businesses and individual investors are the final stakeholders that drives the demand. Key factor in investment.
Let's apply the Porter's five forces to analyze the attractiveness and competitive environment for a new company entering into the Indian commercial real estate market. The first Porter's five force is the threat of new entrants. There are so many barriers to entry. High capital requirement is one of them. Entering the commercial real estate market requires substantial initial capital investment and for land acquisition, construction, and development. This creates a significant barrier to entry for new players. Regulatory complexity, navigating India's complex regulatory landscape, which includes land acquisition laws, zoning regulations, environmental clearances, and the real estate era can be challenging for new entrants. Established brand loyalty. Established players have built a strong relationship with investors, clients, tenants over time, and creating brand loyalty and trust which can be difficult for a new entrant to overcome. Economies of scale. Larger establishment firms from economies of scale in purchasing, constructions, and operation, allowing them to offer competitive pricing and better facilities. New entrants may struggle to achieve the similar cost efficiency. Overall threat level, moderate to high. While the capital regulatory barriers are significant and the market's growth potential can still attract new entrants who are well capitalized and can navigate these challenges. Bargaining power of suppliers. The second force. Key suppliers are landowners, construction companies and material suppliers, and the utility providers. In this, the overall bargaining power is moderate, while the suppliers of land and construction materials hold significant power. The ability to source materials from multiple suppliers and the opportunity to negotiate long-term contracts can mitigate this power to some extent. Third, the bargaining power of buyers. Key buyers are these corporate tenants, the large corporate houses, our office houses, and the primary buyers in the commercial real estate. They often seek premium locations with high quality infrastructure and are price sensitive, especially in a competitive market. Retail businesses looking for commercial space in high traffic areas also have bargaining power, particularly large retail chains that lease significant space and drive food to retail centers. Investors, institutional investors, including REITs, private equity firms, and high net worth individuals invest in commercial properties. They are highly informed and demand competitive returns on their investment. These are the factors which affect the buying power. Market saturation. If market is highly saturated, buyers have more choices and can negotiate lower rent or better terms. Economic conditions. During the economic downturn, demands for commercial space may decline and increase the buying power seek to reduce cost. Overall bargaining power is high. By particularly large corporate tenants and investors have significant bargaining power due to ability of alternative options and their ability to negotiate favorable terms. Threats of substitutes. The fourth one. Potential co-working space. The rise of a flexible co-working spaces presents a substitute to traditional office leasing, and especially for small and medium-sized enterprises and startups that prefer flexible lease terms. Remote work, also the shift towards the remote work during the COVID-19 pandemic has reduced the demand for traditional office spaces. Online retail, the growth of e-commerce reduces demand for physical retail space as more business shift to online platforms, impact shopping, malls, and retail centers. The overall threat level is moderate to high. The threat of substitute is growing, particularly with the increased adoption of remote work and the co-working spaces. The fifth one and the last is industry rivalry. Key competitors are the large domestic developers. Established firms like DLF, Godrej Properties, and the Prestige Estates dominate the market with extensive portfolios across major cities. International players. Global real estate firms, investors are increasingly entering into the Indian market, adding to the competition. Local developers. Smaller regional developers may dominate in specific cities or regions, posing competition in those areas. These are the factors which influence the market. Market growth. The Indian commercial real market is growing, particularly in IT hubs and rapidly urbanizing cities, which can absorb more competition. Product differentiation. Companies differentiate themselves through the quality of construction, amenities offered, locations, and brand reputation. Overall rivalry level is high. The Indian commercial market is highly competitive with both large and small players vying for market share, and new entrants must offer something unique or superior to stand out. Conclusion is that entering the Indian commercial real market presents a significant challenge due to high competition and substantial capital requirements and the strong buyer and supplier bargaining power. However, the growing market, particularly in emerging cities and sectors like co-working spaces and IT parks, offers the opportunity for well-capitalized companies that can navigate regulatory complexity, differentiate themselves from the established players, and a new entrant must focus on the strategic location selection, cost management, and building strong relationships with the supplier buyers to succeed in this competitive landscape.
Hello everyone. Today, I'll walk you through the value chain analysis of the Indian commercial real estate industry, highlighting the key stages of project development. First is the land acquisition and assembly, which takes up 20 to 30% in the value chain. This is the foundation. Acquiring the right land in a strategic location is crucial as it impacts the project's success. It's important to balance costs and demand potential. Financing is the second stage. It takes up 10 to 15%. Securing favorable financial terms is essential. Proper financing ensures liquidity, cash flow, and profitability throughout the project lifecycle, making it a key factor in project viability. Third stage is the project planning and design, which takes up 10 to 15% in the value chain. Planning and design are critical to maximize space, meet market demand, and adhere to government regulations. A well-designed project enhances attractiveness to tenants and also the investors. Construction and development. As the most capital-intensive phase, construction quality and management directly impacts the project's value and timely delivery. This stage determines the overall success of the project, and this takes up to 25 to 35% in the value chain, making it one of the significant factor which adds value to the entire project. Next comes sales, leasing, and marketing, which takes up 10 to 20%. This phase focuses on generating revenue by attracting tenants or buyers. Effective marketing and pricing are crucial to increasing cash flow and project value. Next comes property management and exit strategy. Managing the property efficiently ensures long-term value. Planning a timely exit helps maximize returns on investment. This takes up 10 to 20% in the value chain. In conclusion, managing each of these stages effectively helps optimize costs, enhances profitability, and secures long-term value for commercial real estate projects in India. Thank you.
The pestle analysis framework. So the pestle analysis framework evaluates external macro-environmental factors affecting industries on the basis of political factors, economical factors, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. So in this comparison of the commercial real estate sector in India and the United States, political factors. For India, policies like RERA and infrastructure initiatives boost growth but face challenges from bureaucracy and corruption. For US, strong regulatory frameworks and government programs like opportunity zones foster growth, but policy changes can affect the market. For economic factors, India, economic growth, urbanization, and liberalized foreign investment drive demand through high interest rates and inflation pose challenges. For the US, a stable economy and low interest rates encourage investment, with REITs play a key role though the market is sensitive to economic cycles. For social factors, India, urbanization, a young population drive demand for commercial spaces, while for the US, an aging population and work from home trends impact demand for specific property types like healthcare and flexible workspaces. For the technological factors, India, emerging prop tech, digitalization, and construction innovations are transforming the sector. For the US, advanced prop tech, smart buildings, and sustainability technologies enhance efficiency and tenant satisfaction. For the legal factors, India, regulatory improvements like RERA have increased transparency, but complex land acquisition and taxation remain obstacles. For the US, clear zoning, land use laws, and tax incentives facilitate the development, but strict environmental regulations must be navigated. For the environmental factors, India, climate risks and resource scarcity are growing concerns, pushing demand for sustainable buildings. While for the US, climate risks and sustainability are key considerations, with a focus on LEED certification and energy efficient designs. The conclusion is that India offers significant growth potential driven by urbanization and economic expansion, but faces challenges in regulation and infrastructure. While the US market is mature and stable, but stakeholders must address evolving environmental risks and technological changes to remain competitive.